Hello everyone! So, sorry I'm a bit late. I'm just gonna cut that off real quick. There we go. So, long story short, um, I was waiting for a package and the delivery man couldn't find the place. So I had to go out and help her find the place. And that was just at the moment I was gonna start streaming. So, that's always fun. So let me just close that. So, what are we gonna do today? So, pretty much, some of you may have seen a little thing called a stream schedule, which, yeah, I did a stream schedule for once. That was fun. And the whole point is this little thing here, right here. This is the Xbox Series controller, which I just got yesterday. And honestly, first impression of this, it's pretty hefty once you put the batteries in. But even then, I removed the batteries. And let me explain you why I removed the batteries. It's just because when I plugged it into my PC, for instance, and then I unplug it, it would connect to my Xbox and just turn on the Xbox One X, which that was a little bit annoying. So I'm just sticking to using this thing wired for now. So the Xbox Series controller. Um, I found it was an interesting controller to have, even without buying an Xbox Series. Because right now I don't want to buy an Xbox Series, and right now my priorities are more akin to Super Nintendo, Dreamcast, maybe a PlayStation 3. We'll see. And so my priority wasn't to get a next gen console. I'm thinking maybe in 6 months I'll get a PS5 just so I can experience the PS4 games like God of War and maybe Ghost of Tsushima. And eventually, yeah, in terms of PS5 exclusives, I'm really looking forward to Ratchet and Clank. So there's that. But I'm also thinking that in some time, I am also going to get the Xbox Series, mostly for Game Pass reasons. But in the meantime, I don't need an Xbox Series, so I'm gonna just use my regular Xbox One X, which is already pretty cool in my opinion. However, the Xbox Series controller has an interesting quirk, and that's it's compatible with the Xbox One X. And not only that, it has this little thing here. You might not be able to see it well, but it has this little thing here called a capture button, which is really the main improvement of the Xbox Series controller, considering they completely forgot to put a friggin' gyro in this thing again, which is starting to get real annoying if you want my opinion. The other main differences are obviously the D-pad. D-pad is a lot more clicky, in my opinion, than the Xbox One D-pad. I actually have an Xbox One controller lying around somewhere. Yeah, I got it right here. Wait a minute. There we go. This is completely live, by the way. This is completely unscripted. But here you have Xbox One controller, Series controller. So as you can see, I was very worried that the D-pad was going to be worse than on the Xbox One controller. Um, it's a lot louder. I don't know if you can hear it because you're gonna hear the Xbox One in the background, but the D-pad on the Series controller is a lot louder. but I also feel like it's a lot more responsive than on the Xbox One controller. Um, I like the feel of the triggers right here. They have this little padding on the triggers, and they also have the padding on the grips here. And interestingly enough, this kind of padding isn't present obviously on the Xbox One controller, as you can see. But what it made me think of was another controller I have, which is the Stadia controller, which doesn't have the same grip per se, but I feel has a very similar texture on the back. Maybe a little bit less pronounced. The triggers are still very smooth on the Stadia controller. Like as you can see, this is the Stadia controller. But I really like, honestly, the grip that you can have on the Series controller. So, basically, why did I want to do this stream? It's because this is a live review. So my first idea for this stream was to basically, yesterday I plugged in my Xbox controller to multiple devices to see if it works and everything. And I was gonna do the stream to test out this controller on different devices. My idea being, if this thing works on Xbox One, it must use a very similar protocol to the Xbox One controller and should pretty much work wherever the Xbox One controller worked already. And so far, this has been rather true. And in fact, I've had a little couple of surprises here and there. So let me show you. Uh, this is the Xbox One X. So again, I do not have the Series X or the Series S. I'd really like to have the Series X at some point, just in order to upgrade the One X and maybe throw the One X, just give it to my brother, because why not? Like I got this thing earlier this year for like 200 euros refurbished. That was a good deal. And so what we're gonna do first is run a game. So let me go into King of Fighters 13. And let me get the sound down because this game is very loud. It is it is super loud and I was not expecting it to be this loud, honestly. So as you can see, right now I'm using the Series controller. And I wanted to start by testing it on known grounds, obviously, because the Xbox One is supposed to work with this controller. So in terms of how it feels, I feel like obviously this is very different to the Xbox One controller in terms of the D-pad. Like we can jump in maybe into another game afterwards to go for the stick. Like right now the stick is working. Like all the buttons and everything. Should be able to max, right? I don't remember. Oh yeah, right now. Like this. But yeah. The fact is, when I use this controller, I find it much more difficult to do some moves. And that's mostly because I'm used to pretty much... Like, I thought it would be maybe a little similar to the M30 D-pad. But it's a lot stiffer, you know. So it makes my finger hurt a little more. So let's say I go for a fireball. Works. I can DP, obviously. But it takes some time to get used to. Yeah, Lyo can. Like, I can do stuff, you know. It's not The problem is not doing stuff, and I should be able to do super as well. It's honestly a lot harder when you are on the other side, in my opinion. Like, I did there, but in my opinion, doing moves on the right side is a lot harder on this controller. So let's try to do supers. Never mind, that's EX flip. What was second super on? Yeah, that's like NHK. Okay. So that's like something like this. Wait. No, still not that. Here we go. And then the EX one. With the Lyokin at the end. Obviously I'm not in the most comfortable position to actually show you that. But like, it really works. And then, let's say you do something cool. No, not that. That's Shokoken. And think yeah. Give me a sec. I need to like. I'm gonna do it. You know, I am going to do it. Back throw. What I wanted to do was that. Okay, you did something cool. Capture button. And the clip is captured. Obviously I can do that also for screenshots. So if I want to do that, I can do that. And obviously I'm gonna have it in my Xbox. If I go there to recent captures, it's all gonna be there. Yeah, it's also uploading to Xbox Live, I completely forgot. And there we go. Pretty much instant captures like on the Switch. Which I just find is a nice feature to have. And now we're back in game. Okay, so we've done we've done the the series controller on the Xbox One, obviously. I'm gonna quit. So this was for the D-pad test, you know. So in terms of after that, I think what we can do is use the stick. And to use the stick, I'm just going to go for something that, of course, is going to be a low watch shell. I'm not sure if Untitled Goose Game can recognize the analog inputs, but this is definitely a game I would play with the stick. So let's see how this stick feels. Yeah, I knew I had like a backup save on that until I take the time to play the game properly. But like, I have the game on Switch, so let's fly. Yeah, Untitled Goose Game, as you can see, can use the analog stick. And the stick feels good, honestly. Uh, it's a, I feel like it's a stiffer than the Xbox One stick. In fact, maybe what I can do, not sure if I can drop in another player from here. I'm not sure. Can I? If I press start. Okay, both control the same character. Let me go back to there and start two-player mode. Real quick. So we can have both controllers connected, you know. So here we go. Now I have both my controllers. And as I was saying, the sticks on the Xbox One controller are a lot looser than on the Series controller, like pretty much doing the same movement here. As you can see, Goose 2 goes a little bit faster by, you know, applying about the same amount of strength. This is not scientific by any means, but you can pretty much do that. Takes a little bit more effort to do it. So let's say I want a dash dance or something. Yeah, of course, Goose is not the goose is not gonna show my dash dance, but this looks like this. Well, if I do it with the other goose, well, either way, this is more a feel thing. The stick feels a lot looser on the Xbox One controller, and I can confirm because I have another Xbox One controller, which has pretty much the same stiffness as the regular one, like here. And so, yeah, I really feel like the Series controller has a little bit more stiff of a stick. But yeah, anyways, that is pretty much the Xbox Series controller on the platform it was intended for. Now let's go to the weird stuff. And by the weird stuff, I mean I'm going to plug in the screen to my PC real quick. Let me just unplug that, turn that off. Go back to webcam. Just time for me to hopefully make things work. I hope it works just like that. Like, I really hope this stuff isn't gonna mess me up. So if I do this, normally I have it set up so I can do something like this. There we go. So I'm gonna plug in the Xbox Series controller now to the PC. And I think I'm gonna run a couple games on the PC just to show you that it works really well. None of these games obviously were developed with the Series controller in mind, nor have I configured the Series controller to work with these games. Just keep that in mind. So I think what we can do is go, for instance, to a little thing called. I'm not even sure what I want to boot up. You know what? Let's just boot up Garo real quick. Garo's a good game. Yeah, it works. Okay, good. Let me also have the sound of the game for that. You should now have the sound of the game. Okay. And the controller doesn't want to work. Well, that was a bust. Let's try running the game again. Real quick. Like, on the menu it works, you know. I can press start. No, it doesn't. Okay, fine. Let's go to options. Control options. Just. It's on player 2. Why is it on player 2? There we go. Now go back. Now it works, okay? It works. You just had to tell it to use the the controller and not the keyboard. So this is a row mark of the wolves. Can I do that? That, please? So this is just to confirm the Series X controller just works on PC, obviously. By the way, chat, if you have any questions, you may ask me. Like, no problem. There we go. There we go. Like, things just work. Shogoken. Then if I want to do super. That's not the one. There we go. Now let's do the same stuff. You know, this way. Oh, I did it. It was just bad. There we go. Anyways. So yeah, the controller works pretty well on the PC. And to get back to my point of I didn't configure anything, um, let's go to another game where maybe we can test the sticks a little bit better. So you may know this little game, you know, like just melee. Let's go to training mode. And let's go to Battlefield. I'm going to go back here. Oh. And you see like dash dancing feels pretty good on that controller. Not gonna lie. Like obviously you'd prefer to have notches on melee. But in terms of a controller that works, it works really well. Like I can even light shield. So I can even light shield. There we go. All right, I set up L as a light shield and R as a regular shield. Completely forgot about that because you know usually I play with the Switch Pro controller. And just to prove you, yes, I can wave dash. Kind of. I'm not good at melee wave dashing. Because like unlike Rivals, melee doesn't have a buffer. So it's a little harder. So there we go. That was just melee real quick. And honestly, that's all good fun, you know. So the other thing I noticed, let's go back to like a regular PC game real quick to prove my point. I need to go to I know what? I think what I'm going to do is boot up Fighting Ace Layer. It's been a while since I booted up that game. So here's the thing about PC, like, right now the game is loading, but I'm gonna show you once the game is loaded. You'd think that the entire controller would be compatible with PC, and I think that's just because there's no update yet. But let's say like, yeah, I want to take that title screen as a capture. The capture button does not work yet. And it's probably going to need a Windows update to actually take that capture button into account. Uh, just realized that I need to put the music back. There we go. And again, like, controller works really well. Let me just go Alan, classic, against Terry. And like, outside of the fact that the capture button does not work yet, I can still do like pretty nice thing. Like, the cancels work fine. How do I do that again? Wait, let me focus. This is a little bit harder, you know. Like I said, this is a little bit harder to get the moves out, in my opinion. Although I played Tetris with this thing yesterday, Tetris Effect Connected, and honestly, in terms of minutes dropping because of messing up the input, it was fine. Like, this is a great controller for Tetris. I think it will work really well. There we go. Except now I can capture, you know. Fortunately, I have a stream, but yeah. I just dismissed the wrong way. Okay. But yeah, you get the gist. You get the whole gist. Xbox Series controller on Xbox One, it works well. It's a good controller. On Xbox Series, I'm sure it works wonderfully. On the PC, it works really well, except we're gonna have to wait for the Windows update. And now for the little quirk. So as I said, this controller was designed with the idea that it would be backwards compatible with the Xbox One, which means it would need to connect to the Xbox One in the first place. Let me disconnect that real quick. So what I'm going to do is change my setup again. For the last time in this review stream, then we're just going to stick to one game. Let me just do that. And do that real quick. Give me a sec. There we go. Nintendo Switch. It works. How? With this little Mayflash Magic S Pro. So obviously this adapter works with the Switch, with the PS4, with the PC, but we don't really care about the PC at this point. It just works. How does it work? I plug in my controller. I haven't tested it in Bluetooth with this adapter, but if I plug in the USB cable here, and then I plug the other end of the USB cable here, and then I plug the adapter into the Switch, it should work quite fine. Tested the adapter on PC, it worked, so I'm guessing the Switch will be the same. The controller is vibrating, and now, welcome on the Nintendo Switch. It's pretty silly. I can use the series controller on the Switch. No problem. Except, obviously, the capture button still doesn't work. The adapter might get an update to support the capture button later, but for now, we can just do with that. And what game can we play real quick? I think we can just play a little round of Mario Kart for the sake of it, you know? I have this game digitally, we can just play Mario Kart. Let's see how Mario Kart 8 feels like. Yeah, obviously, you know my opinion about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and it's just Mario Kart 8 in general. It's that it's not a great game, you know? But, whatever, let's go online. Like, I much prefer, obviously, Mario Kart Wii, but fact is, day one, I can use this new controller on the Switch, and I found this really cool. It also works with this little dinghy here, which is the Brook Wingman. So I'm thinking it would work with the entire Wingman line. This is specifically the Wingman XB, which recently came out and allows me to use the Switch Pro controller on the Xbox, which is neat. And I've tested the series controller with this adapter, and it just works flawlessly. Again, disables capture, obviously. But I'm not going to use that. It's just like the controller already works on Xbox. Why would I use the Xbox adapter to plug in my Xbox controller? So yeah, let's race. Let's race. Let's just put that. And just checking. Yeah. Again, this thing doesn't have gyro, so unfortunately I can't play Splatoon 2 with it. But I have a feeling that maybe Brook will come out with a new adapter that adds gyro to this. Like they already have the adapter for the Xbox One controller, so why not the Xbox Series controller? Because I feel like this controller with gyro would be pretty perfect, honestly. Would be pretty versatile at the very least. I kind of want to test the DualSense controller, but I'm afraid that my opinion wouldn't change much compared to the other PlayStation controllers, just because like they haven't fixed the D-pad. D-pad is still friggin' awful on the PlayStation controllers. Like, please give me a real D-pad that I can use, you know. But this has its uses. I'm thinking platformers. I'm thinking Tetris. Fighting games, maybe. Like, if I get used to it, but I'd much rather just use that for my fighting games, you know. And obviously this has quote-unquote the right layout for anything 3D or analog. So I'm thinking Rocket League would be really good on this. Mario Kart should be fine on this. Lots of possibilities. And so what I'm going to do afterwards, obviously, as was in my plan in my stream schedule, we're going to play ARMS with this thing. I'm going to force myself to play ARMS with this thing. Try to get better. The analog triggers might be a little bit of a problem for ARMS, but we'll see. Anyways, let's focus. I barely play Mario Kart 8. I'd much rather go to Mario Kart Wii, you know. But unfortunately, I haven't found a way to use the Xbox controller on Mario Kart Wii yet. Like, the worst part is, you're gonna see me play Mario Kart 8, and you're gonna wonder how I do even remotely well on Mario Kart Wii. The answer is the chaos is much more controlled in Mario Kart Wii. I know what the items do. Like, obviously I know what the items do here as well. And I also know when they're going to appear. The items are a lot toned down in Mario Kart 8 compared to Mario Kart Wii, obviously. But did I completely build this wrong? Maybe? Like, the problem with Mario Kart 8 is because the items are balanced based on the distance to first, is you never really know what item you're gonna get when you're in the backpack like this. Which is honestly what annoys me the most with Mario Kart 8. It just creates like a lot of uncontrollable chaos. Look at all these stars! This is exactly what I was talking about. This is exactly what I was talking about. But yeah, the controller itself is very good for Mario Kart, I feel like. Let's do like a second race? I think we're gonna call it, and I'll give my final first verdict on this controller. Let's do Ribbon Road. Ribbon Road's fun. Go back here. So if you're joining me for this stream, welcome. I am currently kind of reviewing the Xbox Series controller, but like more like live reviewing, first impression, second impression, something. You're gonna hear all of my thoughts right after this race. But so far, I'd say it's a very good controller. Is it worth the asking price? I'm not sure, but that's why we're here together, to do that. To determine if it's worth. Okay, let's try to do a little better on this track. Also, I just want to say, This thing vibration motor is powerful. Like it doesn't have like AG rumble like the Switch and DualSense. But holy crap, this is an intense vibration motor. Okay, so far so good. Yeah, this thing vibrates when you trick. Holy crap, I feel like my whole body is shaking when this thing rumbles. Good. Good, and now chaos. Fourth. Not that bad. It's not that bad. Really thought that was going to go south real fast. So anyways, that was Mario Kart 8 with the Xbox Series controller. Let me go back to webcam. Stop that. So, in terms of my impressions of this controller, very solid controller. I'm not convinced it's worth the price of 60 euros, just for two reasons. One, obviously doesn't come with rechargeable batteries, but two, which is much more important, it doesn't come with a gyro. This thing doesn't come with a gyro. Why does the 8-bit do SN30 Pro Plus come with a gyro at like 45, and this thing does not? Like, Microsoft, please! Gyro, please! Other than that, D-pad feels very nice. A little bit weird when it comes to fighting games. Buttons are okay, obviously. Those are like the regular Xbox controller buttons. The triggers feel really good, especially with the little grip they have here. Like, you can see it. Oh no, not sure. I don't think so. The bumpers don't have really any travel distance compared to the Xbox One controller. They have really reduced the travel distance on the bumpers. And then, I'll tell you that, it's nice to have a capture button, even though right now it only works on the Xbox consoles. So both the One and the Series. I think it will come with future updates in like adapters like the Wingman, the Magic S Pro. It will also come in an update on PC, I believe. But it's really nice to have this capture button. The sticks are a little bit stiffer than on the regular Xbox One controller. Which, I mean, that's up to you, honestly. I kind of like that. But yeah, overall, very solid controller. I really like it. I just wish it had a goddamn gyro. But outside of that, yeah. I don't think you should spend 60 euros in it. I think like 40 would be the maximum, you know, just like the regular Xbox One controller. Like, don't buy the regular Xbox One controller for more than 40, and this one is the same. If you want a good controller for your Xbox, like this is a great option that's included in the box. But obviously, depending on what you want to do, you have multiple options like Switch Pro controller, DualShock. This should work. And yeah, so I'm gonna take a quick break in order to set arms up. Stop this review, and we'll be back in a few minutes. See you in a few minutes.